Hello everybody, welcome to TCG Bytes. Today we're going to go over a product that has spiked in sales volume over 20,000% in the last month. And which product it is might surprise you. So let's jump straight in. So I'm at tcgbytes.com on the main page. If we scroll down to the high selling sales in the seal product in the last 7 days, we see Burning Shadows boost pack in at number one. So it spiked 2,700% in the last 7 days, and it sold 200 packets. So if we jump into the details on that product, we see that its price is currently 1743. Its price hasn't really been moved that much even the last 7 days or last month. So this is the reason why I wanted to highlight this in this video. Its sales volume spiked, but that price has yet to move, suggesting it may move in the near term. Now, so the volume is up 2,700%, like we said, in the last 7 days. It's up over 20,000% in the last 28. It's currently selling about 30 a day. So if we go back a month, we see it was sales volume of about 0.14 a day. That is approximately 1 a week. Now that is weak sales. So this is definitely a buyout that's happening. It's a coordinated single person, doesn't really matter. The point being, it is a buyout. It's a one-off activity. However, why might someone think that this is a good item to buy out? Now for me, sales volume is the number one metric. So the fact that some people have bought this one out suggests maybe they think something different is going on here, or potentially going on here in the future. So if we compare this to other packs on the market or other sets in the market, so here we are, the sets page. Let's have a quick look at Burning Shadows. Okay, so what we're seeing here, these metrics are out of 100 and relative to all of the sets out there. So sales volume of 6 is basically saying it's a week sales, 6 out of 100. Now, one thing to point out, old sets always have lower volumes. So again, 6 may or may not be good here. You have to compare that to other sets of the Sun and Moon era. But what I'm really interested in here is the chasing difficulty. Why? Because these numbers don't change too much over time. Volume obviously will decrease over time. Playability will decrease over time because this is tracking the standard format rotation. So obviously Sun and Moon has been out of standard rotation for a very long time now. So chase at 29, it may sound low, but again, it's a relative metric. So what we often see here is a 1, 2, 3 sets with lots of chase cards highly skew this. So 29 is not a terrible score. It's not a great score, but it's not a terrible score. It suggests there is some cards in here people really like. And a difficulty of 42. That is actually quite a high difficulty score. 42 is very similar to something like Destiny Rivals, for example. That will have a very similar difficulty score. And what that's saying is there's a lot of low pull rate cards in this set. High difficulty means it's harder to complete the set upon pulls, suggests low pull rates. Obviously what that means is there's less of these cards on the market, and that will help elevate their prices over time. So let's just jump into the details of the Burning Shadow set. And if we drill down, we see the major chase card here, Charizard GX. So this is by far one of the biggest chase cards in the Sun and Moon era. You can see here it's chase card 73. Looking at everything else in the set, it tails off massively after that. So what we're seeing here is basically the price of this set, the chase in this set is down to this one card. Now, having one card does make it a weaker chase overall, which is why it had a 29 score. But the fact it's got one massive chase score card, and 73 is a massive chase score. It's very rare for older sets like this that have a chase card like this to see that chase card go down in price over time. A score over 60, definitely over 70, generally has an elevated chase over time. So what we would expect is this chase card to remain chasey, people going after it over time, the price of this card to continue going up. Maybe steadily, maybe slowly over time, but we do expect that card to go up over time. Now, if we compare that to Burning Shadows to some other sets of the modern era, here we're looking at Paldean Fates and Paldea Evolved. So if we're looking at that chase score, of these sets. Remember, Burning Shadows is 29. Paldea Evolved has a slightly less chase score, only slightly. Paldea Fate's slightly higher. Difficulty wise, both are actually slightly easier to complete than Burning Shadows. So we've got two fairly similar sets in terms of their stats to Burning Shadows to compare it against. Now, remember, lower difficulty means higher pull rates, higher difficulty means lower pull rates. So what that means here is that these two sets cards are actually slightly easier to pull, which actually that means is there'll be more of these cards on the market. That does not mean these sets won't go up over time. I think they will. It's just to point out that the cards in these sets are actually more abundant than the ones in Burning Shadows. Take into account there's also Burning Shadows is an 8-year-old set. Print ones were smaller back then. What we actually can understand from that is that there's probably 4, 5, 6 times more Paldea Fates, Paldea Evolved cards on the market than Burning Shadows, Charizard GX. So if we just jump into the details of both of these sets right now. So if we're looking at Paldea and Fates quickly, what we can see is now this has got Bubble Mew. We know Bubble Mew's having a moment on the market. It's up about 50% in the last few weeks alone. So this is the big chase card 84. Obviously a bit higher than what we're seeing in the Charizard GX. The big difference between this set and Burning Shadows though is got that backup chase card. This has got the Charizard X backup chase, which really the Burning Shadows doesn't have. What that really does is put Paldea and Fates at a position where in the long term it's much more likely to be opened, ripped, because people are chasing more cards. So what we have here is Paldea Evolved. What we're seeing is actually a very similar distribution of card prices to something like Burning Shadows. It has that one big chase card. Obviously it's slightly less than the Burning Shadows one right now, Charizard GX. But over time, we'd expect that to go up and that would increase that chase score for that card. And then we see a big drop off. The question is, will we see that these close up over time at all? Will we see Raichu, for instance, Tyranitar, for instance, close the gap on Magikarp to give this set that real second chase? If it doesn't, then over time it's unlikely to have a big pull, a big hold as a set compared to other sets which have multiple chase cards in them. But, you know, it has that possibility still. And then the big question we go back to is, well, why did someone think Burning Shadows was a good investment right now? Well, if we look at Paldea Evolve's seal pack prices, we go to the booster pack, $8.32, so approximately just under half of Burning Shadows' booster pack price. If we go now to the Paldea Fates booster pack, we see this is at $12, so approximately 2/3 of that Burning Shadows price for the booster. So this is the kicker. Modern cards are getting printed more. Modern products are getting printed more. Now's a time where maybe as a collector, as an investor, maybe it's better to go back and look at some of these older sets like Burning Shadows and go, well, they weren't necessarily loved on the day, but they've been a bit overlooked. As we saw, Burning Shadows had a massive chase card. It's got that Charizard GX that people will be chasing for years and years. Yet, for some reason, people are ignoring the product, and it only had a $17 booster pack price. And so, yes, the sales volumes are low, but maybe in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, whatever it is, people will still be trying to chase that Charizard GX, which means people will be ripping that pack, whether it be on YouTube, whether it be in their home, whatever, it doesn't matter. That has that chase card there. So if we're looking at something that's 8 years old, priced $17 a pack, compared to something that's brand new, still in potentially even in print, new ones potentially being printed on a daily basis with Paldea and Fates, right? It's not out of print yet, it's less than 2 years old, it could still have another print one in it. Why would I be paying $12 a pack for Paldea and Fates when I can get a 8-year-old Burning Shadows for $18? If you like what you saw, please give the subscribe button a little tickle. And I'll just wait here a few moments to let you do that. Did you do it? Awesome. And remember, visit us at tcgbytes.com.